From the Cronkite studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
Thanks for joining us for this Cronkite News special. I'm Mitch Casada. Borderlands in business, education, and sustainability. Those are just a few of the beat teams for our Cronkite News staff as we work to deliver news on specific topics of interest to Arizonans. Tonight, stories from our legal and law enforcement beat, from new technology for officers on the street to efforts to better protect our citizens.
Providing schools with more funding usually isn't the center of controversy. However, reporter Julia Thatcher found a new campaign that's turning into a big debate. Julia?
This proposal that would increase funds available for schools K through 12 led to some pretty high opinions from both sides of the debate. That's because it would use money raised from legalizing marijuana. Colorado, Seattle, Alaska, and now Arizona. The Regulate Marijuana Like Alcohol campaign is currently looking for signatures to put legalizing pot to a vote on the 2016 ballot.
People like to use marijuana like they like to use a cocktail or beer. This is the same reason people use marijuana, and they shouldn't be made criminals for that.
The campaign says the taxes from legalizing marijuana would put $40 million into the K through 12 school systems. The Department of Education, however, doesn't agree that the proposed campaign will make the grass on the other side greener for the school systems.
It's hypocritical to tell our children and focus on teaching our children to stay away from drugs, but then to be funding their schools with money that comes from marijuana.
The campaign is confident in their ability to gather enough signatures by the deadline, and even comparing the campaign to prohibition.
It's just as ridiculous as banning alcohol, if not more. This is the way to go, a legal market.
Although recreational marijuana use is legal in 4 states, it is not recognized by the federal government, an idea that the Regulate Marijuana campaign thinks is outdated.
It's really an antiquated thought of reefer madness.
The Department of Education is working on a series of proposals tackling issues, including funding.
We need to make education funding a priority so that it's not reliant upon taxes on vices.
They will be ready to share those ideas with the public in early October. Signatures to get that on the ballot are due July 1st, 2016. In the Broadcast Center, Julia Thatcher, Cronkite News.
4 Arizona law enforcement agencies now have new grants to buy body cameras for their officers. Cronkite News reporter Ivan Rodriguez talked to 2 of the departments about how this will impact their policing. Ivan?
The departments here in Arizona will share more than $1.3 million in federal grants to support a body camera program. The police departments I spoke with are eager to welcome this new addition.
I think technology and being a progressive professional and a proactive thinking police department, I think it's been very essential for us to go in this direction.
The Salt River Police Department is taking the lion's share of the money, but the police departments in Peoria, Phoenix, and Glendale are also getting funds. The departments we talked to say cameras improve transparency.
Now, community members or executive administration members can see incidents almost simultaneously or after they've occurred.
Sergeant Vidari of the Glendale Police Department says that they currently have 0 body cameras and that this grant will contribute to outfitting all of their frontline officers with exactly 300 cameras.
With the 300, we'll be able to outfit all of our frontline uniformed officers that are first points of contact for the public.
Sergeant Vidari says that body cameras are nothing new to law enforcement, but simply a progression of the technology that has been in place in their in-car camera systems since 2010.
Well, there's many benefits to a body camera program. One of those is simply the public expects the Glendale Police Department to have and operate at the highest level possible, and we pride ourselves on doing that best that we can, and one of those is meeting that current technology of using body cameras.
Police Chief Patrick Melvin of the Salt River Police Department believes incorporating body cameras into their department has been a long time coming, but we might not be seeing them out on the streets anytime soon.
In a perfect world, 12 months would be really good. I think after we have to do our policy implementation before we go live with the cameras. So I think 1 year would be great. I think anything before that would be exceptional.
The grant also covers the hardware and software needed to manage all the data that's collected. And it will also allow the Glendale Police Department to pay for a full-time employee civilian who will be in charge of managing all that data as it comes in. In the Broadcast Center, Ivan Rodriguez, Cronkite News.
A Valley teenager is working to make a difference in the lives of some of the most Arizona's vulnerable young women. Cronkite News reporter Genesis Monserrati joins us in the media center with a closer look at the effort to help victims of sex trafficking.
17-year-old Emily Hartzler came up with the idea of helping those who are victims of sex trafficking, and now law enforcement is adopting her new idea. Emily Hartzler has a busy schedule between volleyball practice, school, and Girl Scouts. For her Girl Scout project, Emily wanted to help girls her age who are not free to live their lives.
I want the victims to know that they're loved, and I want to give them the courage to break ties with their trafficker.
She hopes a small gesture will help convince victims of sex trafficking to come forward and get help.
I created Quillo care kits.
The kits include hygiene products, snacks, and hotline numbers, all tucked inside a blanket.
And these care packages will be distributed by the Phoenix Law Enforcement Association and DPS to girls and women at risk of currently being trafficked on the streets.
Hello, New Journey.
Carolyn Jean Jones works with a rehabilitation center that aims to keep people off the streets, away from drugs and violence. She shares her own painful experience as a sex trafficking survivor to help others.
I'm hanging out with these older boys. I'm feeling smart. They telling me all this pretty stuff that's making me feel good, but it's just a manipulation, just to take advantage of them.
She wishes she had gotten a Quillo care package when she was a teenager on the streets.
Congratulations, you get the eagle and the gold ring.
Law enforcement officers recently recognized this new effort to reach out to those who are vulnerable.
Through this program, the Quillo program, it hopefully, not that we want them to see themselves as a victim, but we want them to know that there's people out there that care about them, there's troopers out there that care about them, law enforcement cares about them, and that we want to help them.
Emily developed the idea with Streetlight USA, an Arizona-based organization that helps combat sex trafficking. And the group estimates that 300,000 youngsters are sex trafficked each year. Live in the Media Center, Genesis Monserrati, Cronkite News.
It's been more than 48 hours since the City of Tempe's distracted drivers ordinance went into effect. Cronkite News reporter Ivan Rodriguez found out police will be handing out warnings for the first 90 days.
We want people to drive safely. The best way to drive safely is not even use your phone, not even use your electronic device. Right now, the way the ordinance is written, if you're at a stoplight and you start looking at your phone, there's no reason we can pull you over or cite you for that.
But the way that you can get pulled over is if you are weaving in and out of lanes or driving at a high speed. Councilman Granville says that the law doesn't ban texting and driving in Tempe, and he hopes this law will be a stepping stone to pass statewide legislation.
If somebody hears the phrase, oh, it's illegal to text and drive in Tempe, that's not exactly what the law says. But if it starts to limit law-abiding citizens' choices in a way that creates safety, then I think that's great.
Granville hopes that between the next year to 18 months, the effects that he anticipates seeing will begin to show themselves in accident reports. From Tempe, Arizona, Ivan Rodriguez, Cronkite News.
The state is still 2.5 weeks away from hunting season, but some Arizonans have been jumping the gun. Cronkite News reporter Julia Thatcher has a sneak preview on the state's plan to combat it.
The Mule Deer Foundation here in Phoenix has just donated a mechanical deer to the Game and Fish Department and hopes to stop hunters who may try to start their hunt early. And oh dear, is this causing some upset in the hunting community?
Poachers are, in my opinion, the cancer of the hunting community.
In Arizona, Game and Fish reported citing more than 600 people in 2014 who were illegally attempting to shoot wildlife. In order to combat this, the Mule Deer Foundation donated a mechanical mule deer to use as a decoy to catch poachers. Although Game and Fish has used similar decoys in the past, the new technology makes the deer appear more lifelike. While the Game and Fish Department regulates the wildlife population, the animals actually belong to the residents of Arizona.
People should know that they own that wildlife and that's being taken from them, just as if someone came in their backyard and snatched their dog.
A flick of the tail and the turn of a head could be all that's needed to entice poachers. Once someone has taken a shot, officers stationed nearby will try to catch the offenders. If caught, poachers could see up to 6 months jail time and a $750 fine. Those close to the cause, however, think these penalties might not be enough.
I mean, the bottom line is thieves are thieves, and that's what these folks are. So they need to spend time in jail. I think there should be confiscation of weapons, confiscation of their vehicles. I think they should go after where they live, too. I have no feelings of guilt to say that I would like to see them lose everything they have if they try to steal things from people.
I asked the Game and Fish Department when they plan to deploy their new decoy, but they said they don't plan to tell anyone in hopes of catching poachers off guard. They said they also intend to change the rack of the mule deer to keep poachers on their toes. In the broadcast center, Julia Thatcher, Cronkite News.
A new billboard was unveiled today, created by the Regulate Marijuana Like Alcohol campaign. Cronkite News reporter Aaron Johnson attended the news conference that's using a Halloween theme to promote their proposition.
The group says the billboard satirizes reefer madness and is designed to play off their opponent's fear. In a large empty lot on the corner of 7th Street and Lincoln, a new billboard displays a new marijuana ad. The billboard reads, "Marijuana, less toxic, less addictive, less scary than alcohol."
I'm sure when they said that, a herd of unicorns ran past.
Backers of a proposed 2016 ballot initiative to end marijuana prohibition launched the billboard to highlight what they call the relative safety of marijuana compared to alcohol.
It's time for us to start treating and regulating marijuana like it should be, rather than demonized as many of the prohibitionists would prefer.
But prohibitionists, like Maricopa County Attorney Bill Montgomery, say that the message on the billboard is not accurate.
Regular use of alcohol, one glass of an alcoholic beverage, a mixed drink, or a glass of wine each day will not cause the same types of harms as someone who smokes one joint with the average THC concentration we see today every day over the same time period.
The campaign, however, feels that by regulating marijuana, it can create more good than it can harm.
It's time for us to take this away from criminal drug cartels instead and tax and regulate it, and to have a reasonable and rational policy that addresses marijuana for what it actually is.
The group has already gathered 100,000 signatures, but they require an additional 50,000 in order for marijuana legalization to be placed on the ballot by next July. The campaign stated that even though the advertisement had a Halloween feel to it, they do not believe that it is appealing to children. In the broadcast center, Aaron Johnson, Cronkite News.
An Arizona state trooper risked his life stopping a wrong-way truck driving northbound on a southbound side of I-17. And he did it with great personal sacrifice. Reporter Wafa Shahid spoke with him about the experience and how he's recovering.
I took the initiative to what we call lawful intervention and lined up headlight to headlight and ran right into him on purpose.
State troopers patrol the roads, looking for hazards. Last August, Trooper Jeremy Barr spotted a wrong-way driver going northbound on the southbound I-17.
He was impaired by alcohol, and at the hospital he was treated and released.
But Barr's injuries were more serious. He was hospitalized with a fractured L4 vertebrae and 7 bulging discs.
Still doing a lot of therapy and treatments and seeing doctors and that. It's too far away to start looking at stuff. We're just taking it one day at a time.
But even though his hospital bills are covered by workman's comp, he still has a family to support. Barr's best friend has started a fundraising campaign on giveforward.com.
Just in 4 days, just with word of mouth, we've been able to raise $4,000. And hopefully with this, we can increase it and help his family even more. He's my brother. He would do it for me. We are best friends, and I owe it to him and his family.
Barr says wrong-way driving is a growing threat to people not only in Arizona, but also nationwide. Call 911 if you've witnessed any signs of wrong-way driving.
Fantasy football has become a multi-billion-dollar industry, yet the Arizona legislature still shot down a bill that could have made it legal. Cronkite News reporter Rebecca Wynn found out why some think the online craze could benefit the state and why others still have concerns.
It's hard to turn on a TV, go on a computer, or look at social media without being inundated with fantasy football talk. With the addition of daily and weekly fantasy football game sites like FanDuel and DraftKings, the new twist to making money off sports has taken over America. But here in Arizona, the football trend is actually illegal.
The fact is that we, as residents of Arizona, are one of only 5 states where we can't play fantasy sports for prizing. And I think that that needs to change. We need to, catch up with the times. Look at what fantasy sports games really are.
On the other hand, the NFL and its fantasy site, hosted by the SAP platform, sees the popularity of fantasy football increasing nationwide.
Fast forward 2 years from now, you're going to start to see real-time information, even in-game, same day, the capability to look at, who should I pick, who should I draft today.
With the increase of information that's available, there's also been an increase in problems. Both FanDuel and DraftKings have recently been accused of using insider information to bet on competitors' websites. And that's just one additional issue that Arizona may see with the regulation of online fantasy football.
I mean, so much business is done on the internet, and states are looking for a way, one, to regulate it, and two, how can they benefit from it, via tax or fees, that sort of thing. Here in Arizona, they haven't quite figured that out. Secondly, I would imagine the sovereign nations, the Indian nations, are probably going to take a hard look at that. Is it going to affect their casino operations?
And it's in the states connected to tribal lands like Arizona where the legality of fantasy betting is in flux. In Phoenix, Rebecca Wynn, Cronkite News.
Both FanDuel and DraftKings have announced that they're seeking third-party reviews of the companies and have also banned all employees from playing on other fantasy sites.
Arizona is currently known as the Grand Canyon State, but could that be changing soon? Reporter Julia Thatcher took a look at a new plan proposed by Governor Doug Ducey.
Lots of ideas come to mind when people think of the Grand Canyon State, some good, some bad, but a new rebranding campaign is looking to clean up and create a more positive image for Arizona.
Temperatures higher than this. This is some funny stuff.
Building the Great Wall of Mexico. That's funny. What happens in Tent City stays in Tent City? Absolutely.
Probably not the response Governor Doug Ducey thought he would get when he asked the public for slogan ideas for the new rebranding campaign. People shared their slogans using #RebrandAZ. The $250,000 plan aims to clean up the image for the Grand Canyon State.
People have certain negative reservations buried deep in their psyche. When they talk to people and they get a sense of the popular opinions, those things are going to come out, so they do need to be addressed.
The Arizona Commerce Authority is spearheading the campaign. President and CEO Sandra Watson is hopeful the new campaign will benefit the state. However, the question we had was, why now?
It's important that we begin to establish an identity for the state of Arizona. It's important that we don't allow others to define who Arizona is.
Currently, there is no set timeline for the campaign, but the ACA hopes to announce a full brand guideline in late fall of this year.
The project is an investment in our future. It will allow us to establish a single selling point for the state of Arizona, create a value proposition that we can communicate to the world.
The ACA said they would love to hear ideas or reasons why you love Arizona, and those can be submitted directly to them using #PromoteAZ. Although at the end of the day there will be a new slogan and logo, the ACA said they will also look to find key elements in our state to focus on, specifically noting our involvement in aerospace and defense and vibrant high-tech communities. In the Broadcast Center, I'm Julia Thatcher, Cronkite News.
Some have been missing only days, others have been gone for years. Cronkite News reporter Angie Schuster met with the Missing and Unidentified Persons Unit for the city of Phoenix and spoke with a woman who is trying to bring attention back to her sister's cold case.
Following Saturday's Missing in Arizona Day, 22 new cases were reported, and one was even solved. This event helped people find new answers about their missing loved ones, but there are many more out there who have been waiting years for a new lead.
She was funny.
Kimber Biggs, now 26, was just 9 years old when her sister disappeared.
I don't remember a lot of it. She was riding my bike and I was walking our dog. And I got cold and tired of waiting for the ice cream truck that she thought she heard, so I went inside and walked back to the house, and she was out there for a minute or two by herself. In that, 90 seconds that I walked down to the house, opened the door and told my mom, and then walked back out to the street, she was gone.
I'm very sure that this is going to come to a quick and good end.
Mikkel's case didn't have the ending her family hoped, and it is now a cold case. She's been missing for almost 17 years.
It really affected me because I feel like I missed out on my childhood. And in all honesty, I almost feel selfish for saying that because it's Mikkel who really missed out on it.
It's worse than somebody dying in your family.
When somebody dies, we have a process, we have a ritual that we go through as human beings to deal with that. These families are denied that.
The Biggs family decided to lay Mikkel to rest on the 5th anniversary of her disappearance.
I don't know exactly who took her. I don't know what happened to her. I don't know where her body is. I go visit her grave, but I can't go to her grave and feel like that she is there. I mean, it's empty.
Kimber and other families of missing loved ones attended Missing in Arizona Day, hoping to make a break in the case.
Right now, it's just a matter of finding something, a certain tip or a certain fact that someone knows that they need to come forward with for us to be able to move forward.
The Missing Persons Unit for Phoenix Police says that the most missing persons cases aren't due to foul play. And Detective Summershoe says that they plan to hold the 2nd annual Missing in Arizona Day next year in hopes of helping more struggling families. Angie Schuster, Cronkite News.
5,952 juveniles were detained in 2014, according to Arizona juvenile courts. So what happens to teens and kids who commit crimes like burglary, shoplifting, and trespassing? The Juvenile Detention Alternative Initiative, or JDAI, looks to provide alternatives to putting them in detention centers or even solitary confinement. And they held a national conference in Phoenix this week.
With the idea of reform on everyone's mind, so is the thought of consequences that youth might face without some of these alternatives. Among those who shared their opinions and advocated for the program were adults who previously went through the court system as children but didn't have the option of alternative confinement.
If we don't provide youth with those opportunities to be the leaders of tomorrow, then we're just continuously going to allow the system to perpetuate violence, allow young people to fall victims to the system and continuously harm the communities that they're going to be returning to.
Some of these alternatives include wearing ankle monitors, sitting down with families to get parents involved, and finding responsible adults to help with the children.
We know that kids that end up in our juvenile detention facilities and deep within our juvenile justice system often have worse outcomes in terms of education and just overall outcomes. So we're really trying to partner with folks to ensure that we have community-based alternatives.
For those advocating for alternative programs, help now could mean a better future for misguided kids.
The impact that the system had on my own personal life could have easily led me to being either, again, further into the justice system and possibly being there for the rest of my life. When I'm promoting alternatives, it's because there's the fundamental belief that young people are capable of change.
According to the JDAI, kids that don't have access to alternatives are less likely to graduate from college and get a job, and more likely to end up back in detention facilities and in our court systems.
JDAI was founded over 20 years ago, and in their 2014 progress report stated that they are now able to reach over 1/4 of the total U.S. youth population.
The Arizona Department of Public Safety has 2 new planes ready for action. Cronkite News reporter Jennifer Souls went to the airport to see one of them make its first public appearance.
The Department of Public Safety's fleet of aircraft just got bigger. DPS acquired the new utility planes, M28s, from the Air Force about 3 months ago.
Both of them have less than 200 hours or 250 hours of flight time. They're brand new. The fact that the Air Force changed to a different category type aircraft to serve this particular mission is what freed these 2 aircraft up.
The new planes, called Skytrucks, will have to go through some final checks before being certified. The Skytrucks will then be used on any variety of missions, transporting SWAT teams like this one, fighting fires, and evacuating residents.
DPS got this aircraft from the U.S. Air Force. It's their second one of this kind, and it can carry up to 18 people and all of their equipment.
It's good under pressure, too. The Skytruck can land and take off with nearly half the amount of space other passenger aircraft need.
This airplane, fully loaded, can take off in less than 800 feet. That's incredible.
If Arizona taxpayers are wondering, the planes were free. DPS acquired them after making the case that Arizona had the most need for the aircraft. In Phoenix, Jennifer Souls, Cronkite News.
The 2 new utility additions will join a fleet of 5 helicopters, 2 transport planes, and single-engine enforcement planes.
Last week, we reported that the county attorney's office had been working on a 2-month investigation to make Halloween safer for trick-or-treaters. They were looking to locate 200 unregistered sex offenders and make sure those registered weren't passing out candy. Reporter Julia Thatcher found out this effort isn't just seasonal.
The U.S. Marshal's Office told me that while they target specific areas of concern, such as Halloween, the work doesn't stop there. They're working around the clock all year to track down people trying to trick the system. It's a Class 4 felony, not re-registering as a sex offender after moving within the state or over state lines. But a number of departments in Arizona are searching for unregistered offenders, looking to crack down on those who think they can slip past the law.
Every day. I mean, every day the deputies and task force officers come to work, and that's what they do. Most of the ones that are still out there and about, they know they're wanted. They're continuing to commit crimes in the communities.
Re-registering is an area of concern for officers, but sexual assault victims are worried less about offenders re-registering and more about keeping others safe.
Most victims are sexually abused by someone they know very well. So a random sex offender not registering doesn't really directly affect them personally. So they're more concerned about the community at large.
A great deal of effort goes into making an operation like this work. The U.S. Marshals Services works with 25 different departments, including state, federal, and local agencies. These agencies include the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office and the County Attorney's Office. The question is, why would these offenders not re-register knowing they will be caught?
They might think that it's a way of getting out of the restrictions that often go with registration and supervision.
Those restrictions include where they can live and what kind of jobs they can hold. The U.S. Marshal's Office said that if anyone has any areas of concern or wants to contribute ideas on how to locate and register sex offenders, they are open to all ideas to keeping the streets safe. And those can be directed to the usmarshals.gov. In the broadcast center, Julia Thatcher, Cronkite News.
Thanks for joining us for this Cronkite News Legal Special. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.